It's quite all right to now and then lose ourselves in flights of wild imagination. In fact, Montreal cartoonist and illustrator Diego Herrera makes a living doing just that.
I never left my childhood way to be.
But the thing that helps fuel the imagination of a grown man such as he may surprise you.
Some people put certain kind of music in order to feel better.
You see, Diego draws his inspiration from toy cars, a collection he started 25 years ago that are all around his studio, on shelves, on his desk, in cupboards. Some are even still in boxes. In all, he has about 100 of them, plus a few planes, helicopters, buses. You get the picture. He says he doesn't spend much money on them at all.
Instead of buying a beer or something like that, or some bags of chips, I buy a toy like this.
Funny thing is, Diego doesn't even like cars, the real ones, that is. He doesn't even know how to drive.
I don't want to be dependent of cars.
It's not that he doesn't think cars are beautiful. It's a pollution that turns him off. And he says there isn't enough investment in mass transit and fuel efficiency.
It's somewhere in the house. To illustrate a book or as anything else.
Most of Diego's work is found in children's books. He's illustrated over 30 of them, including 5 which he authored, and one that was shortlisted for the Governor General's Award in 1998.
When I do a workshop,
humor defines his work, and often that's where the toys come in.
The illustration I did for the book, I Am the Book, is very much inspired by this bus.
Besides using the toys as sources for ideas, it's just having them around that drives his creativity.
Made me feel comfortable.
But why Diego now draws pictures of silly things that make people laugh is a whole other story. In his 20s, he used his work to criticize the establishment in Colombia where he was born.
I started as a political cartoonist.
Right in the middle of political upheaval and the so-called war on drugs in the region in the 80s. He worked for newspapers addressing those issues at a time when he said things were pretty dangerous for journalists who did.
85 was a bit tough also in Colombia.
He said at one point the authorities would hand out pamphlets criticizing journalists who opposed the government policies. But what really made him take notice was what he found in some of these pamphlets.
And I remember they used some of my cartoons, but they changed the captions.
It scared him, even though the work of other cartoonists was also used. Never before had his freedom of expression been challenged like this.
And a country like Colombia is something dangerous.
Even deadly. The paper he worked for, El Espectador, was known at the time for its sharp criticism of not just the establishment.
They criticized also, and they were very strong against the narco traffics.
For that, his boss paid the ultimate price. On December 17, 1986, the paper's director, Guillermo Cano, was assassinated by men believed to be working for the drug cartels. It was exactly this kind of injustice, even from the authorities, that Diego dealt with in his drawings back then.
That made me so sad or depressed.
That he tried something else. He realized that cartooning didn't have to document the misery and madness that so depressed him. After all, life isn't all sadness and terror.
Human beings also are able to do beauty, lovely things and humoristic things.
And that's what he tries to show in his work, even the ones that he does for magazines like L'Actualité, in which he has a regular cartoon column. But he wants to do more picture books for children, like the one that will be launched at this year's Blue Metropolis Literary Festival titled I Am the Book. For now, that is what drives him.
This is a beautiful way to see the world as a kid.
Full of dreams, full of beauty, and full of imagination. Phil Carpenter, The Gazette.